The people of Earth had always been dreamers, but their dreams often felt small compared to the vastness of space. For centuries, humanity looked up at the stars with wonder and hope, imagining what might lie beyond their blue planet. By the 23rd century, they finally had the tools to reach further than ever before. The United Earth Space Corps worked tirelessly on prototypes for faster-than-light travel, advanced weaponry, and durable ships that could withstand the harsh conditions of deep space. But these early designs were clumsy, unpolished, and far from perfect. They were mocked by the Galactic Empire, a sprawling interstellar civilization that ruled over dozens of star systems. The Empire's leaders saw Earth as nothing more than an insignificant backwater planet filled with primitive beings who couldn't even master basic technology. Their massive fleets roamed the galaxy with ease, equipped with sleek, powerful warships capable of annihilating entire planets in minutes. When Earth sent out its first few prototype vessels into the cosmos, the Empire's diplomats laughed openly during negotiations. "Your ships look like toys," one ambassador sneered during a tense meeting aboard a neutral orbital station. "If you think this is how you enter the galactic stage, then your species has no future." Back home, Emily Dawson, a young engineer working for the Space Corps, felt the sting of those words deeply. She had spent years designing engines for Project Horizon, Earth's most ambitious attempt yet to create a ship capable of competing with the Empire's fleet. Her work wasn't glamorous. She spent long hours in dimly lit labs surrounded by wires, circuits, and half-finished blueprints. Yet, despite the ridicule from outsiders, Emily believed in her team's vision. "We're not trying to copy them," she told her colleague Ryan when he voiced doubts about their progress. "We're building something different, something better." Ryan Hawkins, a pilot with a sharp mind and quick reflexes, shared some of Emily's optimism, but also carried the weight of skepticism. He'd flown several of Earth's earlier prototypes, and while they showed promise, they were nowhere near ready to face the Empire's overwhelming power. Still, Ryan trusted Emily's judgment. If anyone could make Project Horizon succeed, it was her. One day, news reached Earth that changed everything. A scout ship returning from deep space brought back reports of Imperial forces gathering near the edge of human-controlled territory. It seemed the Empire had grown tired of waiting for Earth to collapse under its own incompetence. Instead, they decided to take matters into their own hands. Warships numbering in the hundreds were preparing to invade Earth and claim its resources, and perhaps wipe out its population if resistance proved too costly. Panic spread across Earth's governments as military leaders scrambled to prepare defenses. Most knew it was futile. Even Earth's newest prototype ships wouldn't stand a chance against such a massive force. As plans were made and alliances strengthened, Emily received an urgent message summoning her to headquarters. There, she found herself face to face with General Carter, a grizzled veteran known for his blunt demeanor. "Dawson," he began without preamble, "we need Project Horizon operational yesterday. Do whatever it takes to get that ship ready." His tone left no room for argument. Emily nodded, determination hardening her expression. She understood the stakes. Failure meant extinction. Over the next weeks, Emily and her team worked around the clock, pushing themselves to the brink of exhaustion. Ryan joined them whenever he could, offering insights from a pilot's perspective. Together, they fine-tuned every system, tested every component, and ran countless simulations. Slowly but surely, the ship began to take shape, a sleek, angular vessel unlike anything Earth had built before. Its name: the Eclipse Asterisk. As launch day approached, rumors circulated among the crew assigned to man the Eclipse Asterisk. Some whispered it was doomed to fail like all the others. Others believed it held the key to Earth's survival. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: humanity's time to prove itself had arrived. And somewhere out there, the Empire waited, confident in its superiority. What they didn't know was that sometimes, The smallest spark can ignite the brightest flame. The day of the asterisk eclipse's asterisk maiden voyage arrived under a sky heavy with clouds, as if nature itself sensed the gravity of the moment. Emily Dawson stood on the launch pad, her heart pounding in her chest. She watched as technicians scurried around the ship, making last-minute adjustments. The asterisk eclipse asterisk gleamed under the dim morning light, its metallic surface reflecting hope and fear in equal measure. Ryan Hawkins approached her, his flight suit zipped up to his neck, his face calm but serious. "You ready for this?" he asked, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. "As ready as I'll ever be," Emily replied, forcing a small smile. "Just promise me you won't crash my ship." Ryan chuckled, though there was no real humor in it. "I'll do my best. But if we're going down together." The two shared a brief look before turning their attention back to the task at hand. Inside the command center, General Carter gave a final briefing to the crew. His words were blunt and direct. The Galactic Empire's fleet was already en route to Earth's borders, and time was running out. The asterisk eclipse asterisk wasn't just a test anymore. It was humanity's last chance. If it failed, Earth would fall. As the countdown began, Emily took her place in the observation deck, where she could monitor the ship's systems remotely. Ryan climbed into the cockpit alongside co-pilot Lisa Monroe, a quiet but skilled navigator who had spent years studying star charts. Together, they powered up the engines, feeling the hum of energy coursing through the ship. When the countdown hit 0, the asterisk eclipse asterisk shot into the sky like a bullet, leaving behind a trail of fire and smoke. Once they reached orbit, the true test began. The ship's advanced propulsion system kicked in, propelling them faster than any human-made vessel had ever traveled. For a moment, everyone aboard held their breath, waiting to see if the prototype would hold together. To their relief and amazement, it did. The asterisk eclipse asterisk handled smoothly, responding to every command with precision. Ryan grinned as he guided the ship through a series of maneuvers designed to test its limits. But their celebration was short-lived. As they approached the edge of Earth's solar system, sensors picked up something ominous. A massive Imperial fleet blocking their path. Dozens of warships loomed ahead, their hulls bristling with weapons. It was clear the Empire hadn't expected Earth to send anything capable of challenging them, let alone a single ship. Still, their arrogance didn't stop them from preparing for battle. "Looks like we've got company," Lisa said, her voice tight with nerves. Ryan clenched the controls, his jaw tightening. "Let's show them what we're made of." Emily monitored the situation from the observation deck, her fingers flying over the console as she adjusted the ship's shields and weapon systems. Unlike the Empire's brute force approach, the asterisk eclipse asterisk relied on speed, agility, and cutting-edge technology. Its primary weapon, a plasma cannon powered by an experimental fusion core, was untested in combat, but Emily believed it could level the playing field. The Imperial ships opened fire first, their lasers streaking across space like deadly rain. Ryan expertly dodged each blast, weaving the asterisk eclipse asterisk between the enemy vessels with breathtaking skill. Lisa called out coordinates and trajectories, her voice steady despite the chaos. Meanwhile, Emily activated the plasma cannon, charging it for a devastating strike. When the weapon finally fired, the results were catastrophic. A massive beam of blue-white energy erupted from the asterisk eclipse asterisk, slicing through 3 Imperial ships in an instant. The remaining vessels hesitated, clearly shocked by the unexpected display of power. For a moment, silence reigned as both sides processed what had just happened. Then, all hell broke loose. The Imperial fleet regrouped and launched a coordinated assault, determined to destroy the asterisk eclipse asterisk before it could cause more damage. Explosions lit up the void as the two forces clashed, each side fighting for survival. Ryan pushed the ship to its limits, executing maneuvers that left even Lisa breathless. Emily worked tirelessly to keep the shields intact, rerouting power and patching damaged systems as quickly as possible. Despite the odds, the Eclipse held its own. Its unconventional design allowed it to outmaneuver the slower, bulkier Imperial ships, while its advanced weaponry inflicted heavy losses. But the battle was far from over. Even with their newfound confidence, the crew knew they couldn't win without a plan. "We need to hit their flagship," Ryan said over the comms. "Take out their command center, and the rest will fall apart." Emily nodded, her mind racing. "I can recalibrate the plasma cannon for a concentrated shot, but it'll take time." "Do it," Ryan ordered. "Lisa and I will buy you as much time as we can." With renewed determination, the crew of the Eclipse prepared for one final desperate gambit. Outnumbered and outgunned, they'd fought not just for themselves, but for the billions of lives counting on them back home. And somewhere deep inside, Emily allowed herself a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, humanity's spark could burn brighter than anyone thought possible. The Eclipse darted through the chaos of the battlefield like a ghost, slipping between bursts of enemy fire with impossible grace. Ryan's hands moved swiftly over the controls, his focus absolute as he guided the ship closer to the heart of the Imperial fleet. Lisa sat beside him, her eyes scanning the monitors for any sign of weakness in the enemy's formation. Behind them, Emily worked furiously in the observation deck, rerouting power and recalibrating the plasma cannon for one decisive strike. "Ryan, we're almost in range," Emily said over the comms, her voice trained but steady. "Just a little further." "I hear you," Ryan replied. His teeth gritted as he pulled the ship into a tight spiral to avoid another barrage of laser fire. The Imperial flagship loomed ahead, its massive hull bristling with weapons and glowing with energy shields. It was the nerve center of the fleet, the place where orders were issued and strategies coordinated. If they could destroy it, the rest of the ships might lose cohesion, or at least that was the hope. But getting close enough wouldn't be easy. The flagship was surrounded by smaller vessels acting as escorts, each one firing relentlessly at the Eclipse. Explosions erupted around them, shaking the ship violently. Alarms blared as shields flickered under the strain. Emily called out updates from her station, her voice cutting through the noise. "Shields are down to 40%. Keep evading." "We're trying." Ryan snapped back, sweat dripping down his forehead. He glanced at Lisa, who was frantically plotting a course through the storm of enemy ships. "Got anything yet?" Lisa nodded sharply. "There's a gap forming near the rear flank. If we time it right, we can slip through and get behind the flagship." "Do it," Ryan ordered. With a deep breath, he pushed the engines to their limit, sending the Eclipse hurtling toward the opening. The ship rocked violently as it passed through a hail of fire, sparks flying in the cockpit as something grazed the hull. But they made it, emerging on the other side with a clear line of sight to the flagship. "Now or never, Emily," Ryan said, his voice tense. "We've got one shot at this." "I'm ready," Emily replied, her fingers flying over the console. She had rerouted every spare ounce of power to the plasma cannon, leaving only minimal energy for the shields. If they missed, the Eclipse would be torn apart in seconds. Taking a deep breath, she activated the weapon, watching as the core began to glow with an intense blue light. "Charging complete," she announced. "Firing in 3, 2, 1. The plasma cannon roared to life, unleashing a concentrated beam of energy that pierced through space like a spear. Time seemed to slow as the beam struck the flagship's shields, causing them to flare brightly before collapsing under the... For now, though, they had proven something important, not just to the galaxy, but to themselves. Humanity wasn't weak or insignificant. It was resilient, resourceful, and capable of greatness when it mattered most. And as long as people like Emily, Ryan, and Lisa kept fighting, there was always hope. The Eclipse descended toward the moon's surface, its damaged hull groaning under the strain. The abandoned outpost came into view, a cluster of domed structures half buried in gray dust, their metal exteriors pitted and worn from years of neglect. It wasn't much, but it was shelter, and that was enough for now. Ryan guided the ship carefully, his hand steady despite the chaos around him. Alarms still blared, and smoke filled the cockpit, but he kept his focus on landing safely. "Hold on," he warned as the ship touched down with a jolt. The impact sent sparks flying, and the lights flickered before stabilizing. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Lisa broke the silence. "We made it," she said softly, her voice tinged with disbelief. "We actually made it." Ryan let out a long breath, leaning back in his seat. "For now. But we're not out of this yet." Emily climbed down from the observation deck, her face streaked with soot, but her expression determined. She carried a data tablet, already scrolling through diagnostics. "The engines are shot, and life support is failing. We've got maybe 12 hours before things get critical. We need to find spare parts. Fast." The three of them suited up and stepped outside, their boots crunching against the fine lunar dust. The outpost loomed ahead, its broken windows staring out like hollow eyes. It was eerie, the kind of place where shadows seemed to move when you weren't looking. But they didn't have time to dwell on that. Survival came first. Inside, the air was stale and cold, carrying the faint metallic tang of decay. Dust covered everything, and the walls were lined with rust. Emily led the way, her tablet lighting up dark corners as she scanned for useful equipment. Ryan and Lisa split off to search different sections, calling out whenever they found something promising. "I've got a generator here," Lisa shouted from another room. "It's old, but it might work if we can fix it." "Good," Emily replied, her voice echoing through the empty halls. "Bring it back to the ship. We'll need all the power we can get." Ryan wandered into what looked like an old storage bay. Shelves sagged under the weight of forgotten supplies, and crates were stacked haphazardly along the walls. He opened one, finding coils of wiring and circuit boards inside. Not perfect, but better than nothing. As he worked, his thoughts drifted to Earth. What would happen next? Would the Empire retaliate? And if they did, how could humanity possibly defend itself? His musings were interrupted by a sharp noise, a clang, followed by a low rumble. He froze, listening closely. The sound came again, louder this time, and closer. Someone, or something, was moving in the outpost. "Did you hear that?" He called over the comms, his hand instinctively reaching for the sidearm strapped to his leg. "Hear what?" Emily asked, her voice cautious. "There's something here. Stay alert." Lisa joined him moments later, her own weapon drawn. Together, they moved cautiously toward the source of the noise, their footsteps muffled by the thick layer of dust. Around a corner, they found the cause. Part of the ceiling had collapsed, sending debris tumbling to the floor. At first glance, it seemed harmless, an accident caused by age and disrepair. But then Ryan noticed something odd. Beneath the rubble lay a strange device, its surface etched with unfamiliar symbols. "What is that?" Lisa whispered, crouching beside it. "I don't know," Ryan admitted, frowning. "But it doesn't look human." Before they could investigate further, Emily's voice crackled over the comms. "Guys, I think I found something important. Get back here." Reluctantly, Ryan and Lisa left the mysterious object behind and returned to the main chamber. Emily stood near a large console, her face lit with excitement. "This system still has partial functionality," she explained. "If I can reactivate it, we might be able to send a message back to Earth." "A message?" Ryan asked, raising an eyebrow. "About what?" "About everything," Emily replied firmly. "The battle, the Empire's weaknesses, the *eclipse*. They need to know what we've learned. If we can warn them, maybe they'll have a fighting chance." Ryan nodded slowly. "All right. Do what you need to do. Lisa and I will keep looking for parts." As Emily worked, the others scoured the outpost, collecting anything that might help repair the ship. but the uneasy feeling lingered, gnawing at the edges of their minds. Something about this place felt wrong, as though they weren't alone. Every shadow seemed darker, every sound louder. Still, they pressed on, driven by necessity and the knowledge that failure wasn't an option. Hours passed, and progress was slow but steady. By the time Emily finished configuring the console, the Eclipse was in marginally better shape. Enough to limp home, at least. She transmitted the message, hoping against hope that someone on Earth would receive it. Then, without wasting another second, the crew boarded the ship and prepared to leave. As the Eclipse lifted off, Ryan glanced back at the outpost one last time. Something about it unsettled him, though he couldn't put his finger on why. Maybe it was just paranoia, or maybe, deep down, he knew they hadn't seen the last of whatever secrets the moon held. Either way, there was no turning back now. The journey back to Earth was tense and quiet, the weight of what they had done, and what still lay ahead, pressing heavily on the crew. The Eclipse limped through space, its systems barely holding together. Emily sat in the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the monitors as she monitored every flicker of power and strain in the engines. Ryan piloted the ship with steady hands, though his mind kept drifting back to the outpost and the strange device they had found buried beneath the rubble. Lisa stayed focused on navigation, plotting the safest route home while keeping an ear out for any signs of trouble. For hours, no one spoke much. The silence was broken only by the hum of the ship's struggling systems and the occasional crackle of static from the comms. They were exhausted, both physically and mentally, but none of them dared to relax. Not yet. Not until they were safely back on Earth. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the blue-green orb of their home planet came into view. It was a sight that filled them with both relief and dread. Earth looked peaceful from afar, its oceans shimmering under the sunlight, its clouds drifting lazily across the sky. But they knew better. The Empire would come again, and when it did, humanity would need to be ready. As they entered orbit, the comm system crackled to life. A voice broke through the static, urgent and sharp. "Unidentified vessel, this is Earth Defense Command. State your identity and purpose." Ryan leaned forward, pressing the transmit button. "This is the Eclipse. We're returning from the battle zone, requesting immediate landing clearance." There was a pause, followed by a flurry of activity on the other end. Moments later, the voice returned, calmer now, but tinged with disbelief. "Eclipse. You're the prototype ship. We thought you were lost. Confirm status and casualties." "We're alive," Ryan replied, glancing at Emily and Lisa. "But the ship's damaged. We need repairs and medical attention ASAP." "Understood. Prepare for descent. A recovery team will meet you at landing zone Alpha." With that, the comms went silent again. Ryan guided the Eclipse down through the atmosphere, the ship shuddering violently as it struggled against the pull of gravity. Flames licked at the hull, and alarms blared once more, but somehow the ship held together. When the wheels finally touched the ground, all three crew members let out a collective sigh of relief. Outside, the recovery team rushed to greet them, their faces a mix of awe and disbelief. Word of their victory over the Imperial flagship had already spread, thanks to Emily's message. Reporters hovered nearby, cameras flashing as soldiers helped the crew disembark. Despite their exhaustion, Ryan, Emily, and Lisa stood tall, knowing they represented something far greater than themselves. General Carter arrived shortly after, his expression unreadable as he approached them. "You've done well," he said gruffly, though there was a hint of pride in his voice. "Better than anyone expected. But don't think this is over. The Empire won't take this lying down." "We know," Emily replied, her tone firm despite her fatigue. "That's why we sent the data. If we're going to stand a chance, we need to upgrade our fleet. The Eclipse proved that Earth can fight back. If we have the right tools. Carter nodded. The engineers are already reviewing your designs. We'll start production immediately. But for now, get some rest. You've earned it. As the crew was led away to debriefing rooms, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. She replayed the events in her mind. The battle, the outpost, the mysterious device. Something about it nagged at her. A puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. She resolved to look into it further once she had the chance. Meanwhile, Ryan and Lisa sat in a briefing room, sipping hot coffee provided by the base staff. For the first time in days, they allowed themselves to relax, if only for a moment. "You think we made a difference?" Lisa asked quietly, staring into her cup. Ryan hesitated before answering. "I think we bought Earth some time. Whether it's enough, that's up to everyone else." Back in the hangar, technicians swarmed over the Eclipse asterisk, assessing the damage and beginning repairs. The ship may have been battered, but it was far from finished. Its story wasn't over. Not yet. And neither was theirs. Days turned into weeks as Earth scrambled to prepare for the inevitable retaliation from the Galactic Empire. The victory at the edge of the solar system had been a miracle, but everyone knew it was only a temporary reprieve. News of the Eclipse's triumph spread quickly, igniting both hope and fear across the planet. People celebrated the crew's bravery, but whispers of doom lingered in every corner. The Empire wasn't known for forgiveness, and their pride would demand vengeance. Emily Dawson spent most of her time in the engineering labs, working alongside teams of scientists and engineers to reverse engineer the Eclipse's technology. Her designs were revolutionary: faster engines, stronger shields, and weapons capable of rivaling the Empire's firepower. Production lines sprang up overnight, churning out new ships based on her blueprints. It was a race against time, and Emily pushed herself to the limit, knowing that every second counted. Ryan Hawkins and Lisa Monroe, meanwhile, were stationed at the newly formed Defense Command Center, training pilots for the upcoming war. The recruits were eager but inexperienced, and Ryan often found himself frustrated by their lack of skill. Still, he reminded himself that they were humanity's best chance. He drilled them relentlessly, teaching them everything he had learned during the battle with the Imperial fleet. Lisa assisted by running simulations, recreating scenarios where Earth's forces faced overwhelming odds. Together, they worked tirelessly to ensure that no one underestimated the Empire again. Despite the flurry of activity, Emily couldn't shake the memory of the strange device they had discovered on the moon. She requested access to the outpost's data logs, poring over files and schematics late into the night. Something about those symbols etched into the object haunted her. They weren't human, and they certainly weren't Imperial. Who, or what, had left them there? One evening, while analyzing the outpost's archives, she stumbled upon something extraordinary: fragmented records mentioning an ancient alien civilization that had once inhabited the moon. According to the logs, this civilization had vanished thousands of years ago, leaving behind remnants of advanced technology. Could the device be part of that legacy? And if so, what purpose did it serve? The ships descended from the sky like shadows come to life, their sleek forms gliding effortlessly through the atmosphere. Ryan, Lisa, and the team on the moon watched in stunned silence as the vessels hovered above the outpost, emitting a low hum that vibrated through the ground beneath their feet. The air grew heavy, charged with an energy that made it hard to breathe. "Fall back," Ryan shouted, his voice cutting through the tension. Now. The group scrambled toward their shuttle, their boots kicking up clouds of dust as they ran. Behind them, the ancient device continued to pulse with light, its beam growing brighter with each passing second. Whatever it was doing, it wasn't done yet, and neither were the mysterious ships. As they reached the shuttle and climbed aboard, one of the black vessels broke formation and darted toward them. It stopped just above their craft, hovering ominously. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a blinding flash filled the cockpit, and everything went dark. When Ryan opened his eyes, he found himself standing not inside the shuttle, but in a vast, metallic chamber. The walls shimmered faintly, as if alive, and the air smelled faintly of ozone. Beside him, Lisa stirred, looking around with wide, confused eyes. The rest of the team was there too, scattered across the floor, groaning as they regained consciousness. "What? Where are we?" Lisa whispered, her voice trembling. Before Ryan could answer, a figure emerged from the shadows. It wasn't human. Its body was tall and slender, covered in smooth, iridescent skin that shifted colors with every movement. Its face was expressionless, save for two glowing eyes that seemed to pierce straight through them. "You have awakened something long forgotten," the being said, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. "Your actions carry consequences beyond your understanding." Ryan stepped forward instinctively, shielding Lisa with his body. "Who are you? What do you want?" "We are the Keepers," the being replied. "Guardians of knowledge and balance. The artifact you disturbed is a relic of our kind, a key to forces that should remain sealed." Emily, still on Earth, monitored the situation from the command center, her heart racing as reports came in about the mysterious ships appearing not only at the moon, but also near Earth's orbit. She knew this wasn't part of any plan she had anticipated. Humanity had stumbled into something far greater than itself, and now they would pay the price, or so it seemed. Back aboard the Keeper's ship, Ryan tried to reason with the alien. "We didn't mean to disturb anything. We're just trying to protect our planet. The Empire attacked us first." The Keeper tilted its head, studying him curiously. "And yet, your survival has disrupted the balance. The Galactic Empire seeks conquest. You seek resistance. Both paths lead to chaos, but perhaps there is another way." Before Ryan could ask what that meant, the scene shifted again. This time, they were shown visions, images of Earth burning under Imperial rule, interspersed with glimpses of humanity thriving among the stars. The message was clear: their choices mattered, and the fate of billions rested on how they proceeded. When the vision ended, the Keeper spoke once more. "We will grant you a choice. Cease your aggression and submit to the Empire, or accept our aid and fight, not just for yourselves, but for balance in the galaxy." It was a gamble, but Ryan didn't hesitate. "We'll take your help," he said firmly. "But if we're going to fight, we do it on our terms." The Keeper nodded, and suddenly, the humans were back aboard their shuttle, the black ships vanishing as quickly as they had appeared. When they returned to Earth, Emily greeted them with a mix of relief and dread. Together, they shared what they had learned, vowing to use the Keeper's technology wisely. In the weeks that followed, Earth prepared for war, not just against the Empire, but for a future where humanity would stand alongside ancient powers, shaping the destiny of the galaxy. It wouldn't be easy, but one thing was certain: humanity's spark had ignited something extraordinary, and the stars would never look the same again.